What are some of the big projects and push that we've seen from Beijing in LATAM?
We're seeing a big variety of them. Our story takes a look at a very remote province of Argentina, pronounced Jujuy, and we're seeing massive solar panels and mining projects to extract lithium. But we also travel to Sao Paulo, where it's more of an indirect. The energy giant State Grid owns the power distribution company that gives electricity to over 10 million Brazilians' homes. So we're seeing a huge infrastructure and investment on behalf of Beijing, both in the private and public level across South America. And we're seeing it not just at federal levels, but as the story and you described, we're seeing a big local push. Governors are traveling to Shanghai. Mayors are cutting deal. Battery plants are being built in suburbs. It's really widespread across the continent now.
Andrew, has all this investment won hearts and minds?
It's certainly pushing them in that direction. It's not clear cut when you go from country to country, but if you look at the story, we talked to Sao Paulo Governor João Doria, and he received a lot of pushback from the U.S. officials under the Trump administration to avoid, doing business with Huawei for alleged spying. And, the sense we get from speaking to officials and a lot of analysts is, they can't afford not to. This is often the best deals available to. And it's not to say that, the U.S. officials are wrong or right, but with facing the problems and need to develop these nations, they simply are going to go often with the best deal available to them.
And perhaps the pandemic has also made that more clear, right? With the vaccine availability and the offers coming from Beijing even faster than they did from the U.S., not to mention that we have even seen some LATAM officials voice concerns and really dissatisfaction with the way that Washington dealt with the pandemic and trying to help out LATAM. Did things change then?
They very much did. Bringing up the Brazilian example again, speaking to Governor Doria, we found that when they were looking, they were very desperate to find vaccines, and the first vaccines they found available to them was China's biotech vaccines. And this was a very important to bringing the first vaccines to Brazil, and not just the people of Sao Paulo, but it was also a big political win for the governor. There was pushback from the President Bolsonaro himself, but given the needs at the time, they went and this became the most used vaccine for the initial weeks and months of the pandemic. So I think oftentimes they are filling an immediate need, and this is very much recognized by a lot of these local officials.